Good morning. Welcome to December 16th regular Commissioners Court. We have a full quorum present. Carrie, you certify the meeting was properly posted.
Yes, sir.
If you'll please rise for prayer and pledges. James Ray.
Father, we're thankful for your presence in this courtroom this morning. Thank you for these commissioners and the judge. May you guide them in the direction that you would have them go for the residents of Walker County. We're thankful for all that they do and all that they need in Walker County. The verse of the day is found in Isaiah chapter 7:14. Therefore, the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel. Father, we learn through study of scripture that Emmanuel translates to mean that God is with us. Father, we're thankful for your willingness to send your son that we can have a relationship with you. Father, may you guard our hearts and direct our lives that we may be pleasing unto you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
I didn't receive any citizens input. No citizens input. Consent agenda contains 18 items.
I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda, removing number 1, 4, and 6,
And 18. And 18.
and 18.
Second.
Moving second, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carried. Number 1, approve minutes from Commissioners Court regular session.
Okay, so in our last court session, the agenda item was for 6 weeks, but we only budgeted for 5. Right, Ms. Cheryl?
That is correct. We received a quote for 6, brought back because one had been wrecked. But by the time we brought it back, the second one had been wrecked. So the chief, White Cotton, had asked to replace the 2 that had been wrecked. So that would have been a total of 7 vehicles.
Yeah, that's where I'm not clear, because item 15 was for 2 that were wrecked, and item 20 was for 6. So why is it not 8?
6, well, it was supposed to have been 5 plus the,
Y'all were not gonna approve the 6, y'all approved the 5 in budget. So that's what y'all were gonna give them. And I was gonna add the 1 to make it 6. We received a quote for 6. So we were gonna make it 6. That's why I was bringing it back to get approved for 6. But then the discussion with Chief, he had discussed, well, I've had 2 wrecked. I need to add 2, and he's buying 1, adding 1. And then the other one, the insurance, he's only gonna owe a little bit because the insurance had paid for the second one being wrecked. And so then Ronnie made the comment that he went to school in Huntsville, but
I remember that comment.
yeah. So he said, yes, I'm asking for 2 more to be added onto what I was asking for. And so it made it the 5 plus the 2 was 7. And that's what y'all approved in last.
He's paying the difference out of
So
Senate Bill 22
the
money.
agenda item needs to be changed to 7, not 6.
That's what I'm saying. When you go back to
no, it was a different agenda
item 15
item. Was for 2.
was discuss and take action of purchase for 2 vehicles. That was a 2 wrecked on number 15. Item 20 was 6 vehicles.
Yeah, the item for the 2 vehicles, the chief put on because he wanted to use insurance money to pay for those and supplement it with Senate Bill 22 money.
Right.
So that was a budget authorization that he was asking for to purchase those vehicles and to use
So that's
insurance
the 2 on item
that
15.
was adding 2 to the 5 that was in his budget.
So number 20 should read 5, not 6.
Okay.
Am
That
I
was-
wrong or right? Oh, I
Wrong.
put 6.
Should be 5.
It'll be 5, okay.
Right.
I'll
And then
amend that.
purchasing knew about 6 of them when they
Yeah.
started doing their pricing.
Yeah.
And one was
One other showed up.
the last minute.
Okay.
Okay. I'll take a
So I'll
motion.
make a motion to, accept the minutes with, number 20 being corrected to 5. instead of 6.
Second.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Number 4, approve claims and invoices submitted for payment.
Uh, On page 7, and this is gonna come up later also. It's the deal, I just wanted to make sure I understood this right. At the bottom of the page, and I think this happened in Brandon's too, if I remember right.
The fuel?
The fuel, or was it yours?
No, it wasn't me. It was
What
Brandon.
page are you on, 7?
I'm on
17.
17.
17.
Oh,
right?
17.
At the very bottom, we have, how you said, Olia, for $6,172.52. And then I'm assuming this is the last load that I got, the Navasota oil.
In, the bid process this year, a new vendor was awarded, for, they delivered fuel to several of the precincts in October, if I understand correctly.
Yes.
There was a lot of confusion on their part on how to invoice the county. So they were very delinquent in getting invoices for the fuel that had been delivered. They had trouble with the pricing, the taxes, and then understanding that y'all needed
Billing
to see when
process.
they delivered the fuel, whatever. So there was confusion at that time. So, we are just now getting those invoices, so that we can put them on the agenda. In the meantime, they are purchasing, they're kind of a middleman, they're purchasing from another vendor. So apparently, when, purchasing got ready to purchase the fuel, they had reached their maximum, limit with the vendor. So, departments, y'all needed the fuel. So purchasing had to go out and do a separate bid on those loads. And apparently the vendor thinks they've got everything worked out now, but it was confusion with the changeover of the bid. And Cheryl, correct me if I'm wrong.
So this Navasota oil is who brought my last time. I wasn't there.
And yes, they're
I was
the
there.
ones because the primary
Joe
vendor.
Warren.
Am I bone?
And, probably what needs to happen is there needs to be a secondary on the fuel.
Hang on, wait.
With our last bid, the vendor was a much, much larger supplier and,
Well, Navasota oil is also a supplier and.
but
that's
they're
why-
not a secondary
Yes.
or a primary on the current bid.
And
So
that's-
it was a separate bid for those.
And that's why I asked Navasota oil if they were the ones or.
And
because-
I don't know, if purchasing is bringing back a secondary or whatever.
We
but-
have a
We
second.
have an agenda item.
Okay, good,
We have an
Later
agenda
on in
item.
court.
right.
Okay. All right. Well,
Got
any
it?
questions?
I'm good.
All right, I'll make a motion, we accept claims and invoice.
Two seconds.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand. Number 6, approve Seth's request for signature of approval for insurance tax exempt bonds.
I know our representative is Luther, right?
Yeah.
How many people, anybody know how many people's on that board? Is that appointed by us?
It's appointed by us.
Do we ever?
We have one representation from the county.
Okay.
I think every county has one.
But there's more than Lisa or she,
For this county, no.
so she's
But
our
there-
only.
She's our only one.
Okay, I'm just curious, but. Okay, that's all I need.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Number 18, approve ratification of award of Chevy Tahoes for the sheriff's office through a TIPS cooperative contract with Sames Motor Company, Sames Government Fleet Sales in the amount of $51,770.25 each, plus a delivery fee of $300 each for the total delivery fee of $2,100 for the total purchase of $364,491.75. Anybody got questions?
Only one, Ms. Cheryl, I know y'all bid this out,
This was a tips or something?
yeah, later on.
It was tips.
Did we ever go back to Caldwell and see if they could match it or beat it or anything?
No. So strictly because it was a tips contract. All cooperative contracts have basically the same pricing. Byboard, your Omni, all of the tips, all of them basically have the same thing. No, sir, we did not go back to Caldwell to see if they could meet or beat it because they're going to be, it's all gonna be the same.
Yeah, and I think I have recommended this be back on the agenda. The question was asked in court was Caldwell cheaper or was this the cheaper of the bid? And the response indicated that there had been a comparison. There was no comparison. It was purchased directly under the contract.
For
Which
the,
is,
for the Tahoes, she is correct.
Yeah. But if you go back to the original bid back in April, or March, whenever it was, I mean, they're still quite a bit cheaper. Same as,
You're correct. They
even
were,
with the $300 delivery fee
Yeah.
or whatever.
you're correct.
Okay. So I'll make a motion, we approve number 18.
Moving second, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Number 19, discuss and take action on the purchase of Guardian RFID inmate tracking system.
Good morning.
But,
Are you sure?
what we're asking to do is to subscribe to a subscription service called Guardian RFID. And what we can do with that, it's a handheld device, much like a Android cell phone. And we can do all of our prisoner checks on it, our meals, log our meals, restraint chairs. It takes away the need for a lot of paper. And this is when we got had inspection by the jail commission. This was one of the bad points, I guess, we had, because we're using the pipe now. The only way you can download the pipe is to go into my office, and it's confusing. And we had a lot of missing cell checks that we had to go back and watch video to make sure that they were done, and they were done. It's just it's confusing to get to, and it's hard to download. But with this, it's a cloud-based service, and the supervisors can log in, see which checks are being done, what's being logged. You cannot make a second check on a cell unless the first one is done, and if you have to put in a reason why it's not done. Now, the cost is for the first year,
That's 14,000.
yes, sir.
14,048.
And that's for the first year. And I've talked with the sheriff, and the sheriff has agreed to pay the initial year. What we'd like to do is put it on the budget next year. And of course, that's up to you. But initially, the jail will pick up the cost, the 14,000.
So y'all paying for it this year,
Yes, sir.
and you're looking at us during budget to pick it up.
Yes.
We know what that costs? Does it go down?
No, it does go down. It goes to 13,290. I really do think it'll be ahead. One of the things I like about it, if the inspector calls and said he needs a report, we can download that report and just send it to him.
This, you talking about inspector, you mean the jail commission?
Yes, sir, Jim.
Okay.
I don't either.
Approve the purchase of Guardian RFID out of commissary funds.
Second.
Moving second, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Jabal. 20, discuss and take action on renewal of Stryker Pro Care Maintenance Agreement.
Rachel couldn't be here today, but this is their annual contract for, Stryker. And it has gone down a little bit. I don't have my figures in front of me, but it went down, about $500 from last year.
Okay.
So is this including the new ambulances and stuff? It is. So it's like a blanket.
I have a question.
No, last year, the reason why it went down, last year it included the new ambulances, okay? So this is kind of, I guess a fix on taking it off of this year because it was included last year and we didn't have them. So this year reflects the new ambulances.
This covers every ambulance that we have,
Mhm.
contracted ones too, like New Waverly.
So I don't know about that one.
I'm pretty sure it doesn't, and that was what I was gonna ask, is can we put those two that are in those, ESD ambulances on this contract, where they're all together all at the same time?
I don't have.
I can ask.
Can you check on that and see?
I will. How many ambulances is it? Brenda?
Two
Two.
load systems?
Yeah, are they owned by Walker County or are they owned by the ESD too?
I think the ESD purchased them back, way back when.
They're under lease with us though.
They should, ESD should have their own. Is what I'm thinking. If they're owned by ESD, do we operate and manage them?
Yes.
Yeah.
But the maintenance goes back to the ESD, right, Brian?
Yeah.
That's what it has been in the past, yes. I'd like to add it to this. I don't know exactly the amount, would be, but that's what I'd like to do. They were the first two that were ever bought in the county. Brought them in here to try them, basically. And, they worked really good, obviously, because we have them in every ambulance now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, you need to bring this back, Miss Cheryl, or this,
Yes, definitely. Well,
We can approve this one
but
though.
you can approve this one and then you'll.
Bring back the
approve
increase.
The increase if the other two are added.
okay,
Are you okay with that?
yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay. Move to approve.
I'll second it.
Moving second, all in favor? Raise your hand. Motion carries. 21, discuss and take action on accepting sub-grant for the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, DR 4586, Texas Severe Weather Storms Walker County Generator 2 Grant Program. Mr. Davis?
Better late than never. We've only been, had this out for, 2.5 years. We got approved for generator grant number 2, which originally started at a 75-25 match. And now it's 85.52% that bids are gonna pay, and local share is 14.48.
Does that cover the cost of how much they went up?
No,
Okay, I didn't think it did.
no. The bids we got on these were when we put the grant in 2.5 years ago. So I'm sure it's gonna be a little higher. So if you accept the grant, we're gonna have to, whoever,
That's number
We
22.
want to do it contingent on receiving the MOUs approved by the ESDs.
this
and
is for the
City of
city,
Waverly.
city of New Waverly, ESD 1 and ESD 2.
And these will be county generators,
They'll be owned by the county.
Right.
maintenance by the
And
county.
then there's another agenda item for
If you
MOUs.
read the next agenda, item,
Read it all.
it's the MOUs
Right.
with them and I'm approving this contingent on these MOUs being signed, because they have to meet the match.
And the difference of whatever the cost from 2.5 years ago to now.
So we're making them catch the match.
Yep,
Yeah,
not costing us any money.
Correct.
the $130,890 is what we're getting.
That's good.
All right, move for approval with the contingent on them signing the MOUs.
Plus picking up the expenses.
Picking up the match.
Second, third.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. 22, discuss and take action on memorandum of understanding with Emergency Service District 1, Emergency Service District 2, and the City of New Waverly covering generators to be purchased and installed under DR 4586 Texas Severe Weather Hazard Mitigation Grant.
And Quentin had read the MOU, I mean, he's okay with it. He made a few adjustments to what we had and this is the final product.
Motion to approve.
Saying that they're gonna pick up the cost difference and the match.
Second.
Moving second, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries.
Thank you.
23, discuss and take action on 2025 TCDRS rates. Amy?
Morning, Amy.
Hey, blood drive is Thursday.
What day is it?
Thursday.
Thursday. You told me Wednesday.
Oh,
It is?
Yes, you remember.
You just tested my ability.
Um,
That wasn't right.
talked about this during the budget. This is my annual rate for the retirement plan. Our current plan is 14.67%. The proposed for this year would be 14.2. We typically do the 40% CPI for the retirees, so that would make it the 14.53%. So that's what I recommend we approve this year. What was that rate? 14.53.
Still down a little bit from last year.
Correct, it's currently 4.7.
Okay.
Vote.
That's my motion, approve agenda item number 23 at the rate of 14.53. Is that what number you said, Amy? Yep, at that number.
I'll give you some.
moving second, all in favor, raise your hand. Nate?
Thank you,
Motion
Amy.
carries. 24, discuss and take action on amending agreement between Walker County and Everest Infrastructure. Morning, Larry.
I have one question on this. What in the world is Texas Bigfoot Communications?
That's another tenant in that. It's a separate,
We're not looking for big
separate transmitter. So this is at the East Communication Tower. Generator's undersized and the HVAC system is not tied in to the emergency circuits. The current had to get this, do a proposal to the company, Everest. What we want to do, we want to make a slight wiring change and replace ATS and generator. Have all the HVAC tied in there so we can keep running in the hot times.
So we need to buy a generator or we already bought
Well,
one?
we have an idea for what we want to do with that. So this is just basically the updated agreement between us and Everest in order to make those changes on their property.
And Larry's been working with for months and months now. Cause they're out of, where was it? They're up north somewhere, Connecticut somewhere, yeah.
Pittsburgh.
And so they wanted a revised amended contract before we move forward. And this is where we talked about putting the extra generator we've got on that station. And mainly because of the downtime we had during this last
Hurricane this year, when power went out there, that was when it was discovered, all of us, that HVAC is not included in that emergency circuit over there. It's just the communications. So.
Everything.
That one is 20 years old?
Well, it's got 100 and something hours on it. Yeah. I mean, it hadn't been used hardly at all. We used it out there this time. It's what is it, a 35 kW? Yeah.
35 kW broad ground.
You know, we'll get it on the maintenance plan and get it to where we've got something that'll run there out there. Keep that stuff cool. I mean, Larry had portable units out there, fans, it was a pain in the butt, you know? And
Went out checking it at midnight.
yeah, I did not realize it was like it, otherwise it would have been fixed a long time ago.
So does this come through us or from this board?
Well, that's I guess a question I've got. You know, if it goes through dispatch to upgrade it, this contract is with Butch.
Which is off.
And so, I don't know, that was a question I had when I read it, was,
Yeah,
I know you've got some communications out there, Butch, on that tire. Still got the old 800 stuff, right?
Hey, it's VHF stuff.
Yeah, so I don't know if this contract needs to go through the board or if it needs to go through Butch or who it needs to go through.
well, is this the cost share with the city too?
Yes.
Yeah, I think in the budget, there is definitely money budgeted for a tower.
Yeah.
And I assume there's only one tower, I don't know.
There's two.
There's
Well,
two.
well, this one and,
West Tower.
yeah, DPS.
So I know dispatch does budget for tower and tower maintenance.
Yes.
What kind of money are we talking about?
This wouldn't change anything as far as funding goes for us using the space.
Okay,
Yeah.
No cost.
They're talking about, Ms. Patricia, the expense of putting the generator on the tire. You know, would it come out of dispatch's budget or would it come out of general fund or whatever? I don't think, you know, I'm not speaking for the board. We would have to meet, once we get this approved, would have to meet and go forward with it. I
Yeah.
personally don't think it's a
Yeah.
problem, you know, but I'm not speaking for the board either.
I mean,
If it's on the board, then it should be cost share, right? I mean,
Well, it'll come out of dispatch's budget.
which is a 50-50
Yes.
split.
yeah, but
yeah,
the
but they
generator's
are
not in-
funding some of the generator too.
And the generator, we own the generator, right?
Well, it was back from Rita,
Okay.
you know, I mean, yeah, it's been sitting in a sea container out there forever. Ronnie's got one of them, you got one of them. Butch has one, I think it was four of them. This was the last one.
Would that generator run JP three?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
We are,
35-watt generator. It's on my budget.
Yeah.
Should, I mean,
And this is the first I've heard about taking the generator, putting it.
So how's it on your budget, Butch?
No, but on your inventory?
Bought during Hurricane Katrina, Rita,
Yeah,
they're all on my inventory.
okay,
The one that's at Ronnie's, the one that's at Brandon's, all of those are on my, I have to account for them every year.
okay. And then all the other ones in that sea container?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, we would have to address
It's part of
that
the
then.
requirements of FEMA, you have to account for the generators for so many years. And be able to kind of point where they
Where they-
are. So for fixed
For an
asset
asset.
purposes, they are all showing up in one place and Butch does do the account.
Okay.
What's a new one cost for that, Larry?
um,
If we were to go on a new one,
a new generator,
I don't know, Bill, what was yours?
mine, I think we had an easy quote. I had the really big one, the big three-phase from a whole system.
Yeah.
It came in at about almost 200 grand.
Yeah.
but we're not,
but
this
just
is
a
just a tower
standard-
for AC.
Yeah,
What-
just
what-
a 2025, those aren't very much. Those are, I think they're what, 5-6 grand just for the unit. Then I think a house installation is like
Oh, no,
17,000.
we're not, we're talking about,
So JP,
well, yeah, it's running air conditioned, but it's also running all the communications in there, which, I mean, you're not pulling a lot of amperage, but
Yeah, I know a mid 20 KW is in the five range, and like I say, then you pay about 15 or 16. What'd you do for your house?
well,
real
we've
quick?
got one out there, Larry. What was it?
Yeah.
The one out there is a
one out there's an 8.
and it
Was
ain't.
it 8 KW? Oh, man, yeah,
It's it's
needs to
barely
be a
enough
little
for
bigger.
communication.
Yeah.
Barely.
yeah.
so we're working on the JP four one right now, right in around the $23,000 range.
Yeah.
For complete install, we have natural gas there. So that is, I mean,
Mhm.
we're gonna hook in a natural gas JP four, but 26 KW was 22, 23 range.
Yeah, I'd buy in on that.
I mean, I'd rather have a brand new one running communications than a 20-year-old.
Well, that's,
And then we're back in the same boat in a few years.
well, now, if you're asking the board to spend $20-something thousand, I don't know about that, you know?
What done stood up?
So I have been,
Hold on.
agenda item
Is the agreement.
simply
is the agreement.
getting an agreement from the tower owner to make renovations. All this.
I'll make a motion to approve the agreement.
Thank you, Quinn. We don't got sidetracked. But it's gotta be talked about sooner or
I'll
later.
take a second.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Hold on, Miss Davis. Either one of them did it. Brandon, yeah. All in favor, raise your hand.
Thank you.
We'll get with you,
We'll have,
Mr.
we'll
Davis.
have costs on next court session.
I think that would be best at this point.
Yeah. All right. 25, discuss and take action on interlocal participation agreement, IPA with TASB Energy Corporation. Good morning.
Morning.
So this is an agreement in order to have a backup alternate vendor for fuel. We have to, it just like our TIPS contract, we have to have an interlocal agreement through TIPS before we can participate in any of them. This one, we have to have this interlocal agreement with TASB. So our second alternate vendor in our bid for fuel was Suncoast Fuel. So in entering into this agreement, that would allow us to go to Suncoast in any given time to request fuel without having to go out and get the 3 beds and yada, yada, yada. So I am asking you guys to approve this interlocal agreement with the TSB cooperative contract, so we may do just that.
So it would be our secondary, right?
It would be an alternate, yes, sir.
Okay, an alternate or a secondary? I mean, basically, I mean, we have to go through the other one first, is what I'm asking.
You're correct. You still have to go through the primary.
Okay.
But this is an option that you will have because we did not make multiple awards from that solicitation. We only made one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we only made one. So this
We
would
didn't do a
be,
secondary vendor.
you're correct. We did not do a secondary. Because normally like our road maintenance and supplies, we have a primary and we have an alternate.
Yeah.
This, we just had a primary. So this would be an option two to go to whenever the primary cannot supply the fuel.
Yeah, Cheryl told me that when there was some language that Suncoast didn't want to agree to when we budgeted all this stuff or during budget. And so they weren't a secondary, like I thought too.
Right.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I've been burnt dang near twice on this little ordeal. And
yeah,
I just seen rebid it, honestly. I don't know what Miss Cheryl thinks about it, but we kind of visited about it, but twice I have liked to have been left without fuel. And, you know, when you get down to it in the very end, time, she sits up there and says, you know, she can get you fuel, and then I'm out of fuel and we jump and get on Suncoast and it's another possibly 24 hours before we get fuel. We're sitting there.
Suncoast delivers pretty quick. I'll give those guys.
They do.
Yeah.
They do, but you have to realize too, this was the very first time and we're only, what is it, 3 months, first quarter.
We're not doing
into
well.
it.
Yeah.
I know, y'all don't have very much patience.
No.
Oh, come
No,
on. It's
no.
very important out there when you can't get fuel.
Well,
You got 30 people out here who can't work, you know?
well, when I'm 45,
Yeah, when we started,
Fuel, we've gotten you guys fuel.
They have
jumped
jumped
through
through
hoops
Yeah.
and
get us
got
some
them for you.
yeah.
It's not like y'all.
But I don't like getting down to the wire waiting on fuel.
And I agree with you.
Oh.
I don't either. But I would ask that you would give her another chance, but to enter into this for a second option.
That's my motion. I didn't know. Did I make it already?
No, not yet.
Does this, this isn't strictly Suncoast in either, right? Does this open up other vendors to you also?
You're correct.
Who's on that Bible one?
I'm looking at you guys. There were 3 vendors on this contract through the TASB. There's
Okay.
3 vendors.
Are they pretty
Suncoast
close?
being the one that Suncoast is the closest.
I'll give you a second on it.
Okay.
Any other discussion?
Not at this point.
Bill?
Nope, I think I'm
Okay.
good. Give it another.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, raise your right hand.
Yeah.
Motion carries. 26, discuss and take action on the purchase of culverts for precinct 3 with the funding coming out of precinct 3 budgeted funds.
You have a big head.
Yeah.
Was the 60-inch not on our?
60 inches not on our bid that we have with
Culverts. Yeah, so
we had to go out for it.
So
And the lowest bidder, was, demanded payment first before he ever delivered the culvert. That is not our practice to do that. We verified with them. I know Eric had called and talked to the vendor and then went back to, Commissioner, Doggett. And, he suggested him going with this.
Sounds good to me.
yeah, that's gonna be my motion is to approve number 26 as presented through Coburn Supply.
Overage.
Yep.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. 27, discuss and take action on the insurance of a solicitation for number 4 Trap Rock as requested by Commissioner Precinct 3.
That was issuance.
Yeah, issuance.
This is y'all may have seen it before. It's the black, really hard black rock. Maybe I had a bag up here at one time. I almost brought my little,
Here, put it in
I
front of
almost
you.
brought my bag up here.
Thank you.
I was like fixing. Hey, we were on our way to another vendor to go look at their material. And we stopped in at Knife River and he had a big mountain of this stuff. So, I'd like to, that daily is out there.
Right now.
So that's what you have.
Yeah, yeah. Pothole.
Go ahead, Bill. I'm listening to
I'd
you.
like to go ahead and have Cheryl do a formal bid for the number 4 Trap Rock and see what we can come up with. Now, we're gonna go out for, I'm gonna say 3,000 tons. That's a lot. So if y'all wanna be part of that team, that's not 3,000, doesn't have to be just for me. Everybody
That
else.
depends on that price.
That's right. Yeah, me too.
That stuff was high last time.
Yeah, and it ain't cheaper.
Yeah.
It ain't cheaper. So my motion is going to approve it, agenda item number 27, authorizing solicitation for number 4 Trap Rock.
That's it.
2 seconds.
Just real quick, just for 3,000 tons, is that what you want?
No, I think
No, that's kind
that's
of,
kind of for
Okay,
everybody.
because I'd need some.
Okay. Oh, it looks nice. It looks nice. Issue.
I need dusty.
Couldn't cap it at 3,000.
Okay, no, yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay. That's my
Second.
motion. Second. Thank you.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your hand.
White or
Oh, sorry.
All good.
There you go.
Okay, sorry.
Motion took carries. 28, discuss and take action on accepting award for grant number 5221101, development, implement, and test cybersecurity incident response plan in the amount of $60,000. Dan, you online?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, so we went out for some grants with the state and local cybersecurity grant program. And one of the grants is to develop and implement a cybersecurity plan. This plan is to improve our preparedness and minimize damage from any future cybersecurity events. It's going to help define the roles and responsibilities for IT and other county stakeholders, department heads, and improve communications during a cyber event. Also, it's going to ensure that we know and meet all the compliance with insurance and legal regulations and requirements. We had an incident back in September 2023 that we recovered from, but we kind of identified some issues and some areas that we need to improve in future events. So it's a 60,000 total grant with a 10% cash match that would come from the IT project funds.
That'd be my motion.
I'll second that.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. 29, discuss and take action on accepting award for grant number 5220601, cybersecurity assessment in the amount of $90,000.
Yes,
Same
so
thing,
this,
right, Dan?
I'm sorry, say again.
Go ahead.
Yes, so this is another grant for doing an assessment. This assessment would be done prior to implementing the incident response plan, because some of the information that we'll need for the other plan would be gathered during this process. This assessment would identify security vulnerabilities, identify and sensitive data that we need to protect better, ensure compliance with regulations, help mitigate security risk proactively and help us prioritize future budget and resource allocations.
That would be my motion. That's funding from your funds, right?
Yes,
Match.
so this one is a 90,000 with also a 10% match, which would come out of IT project funds.
Second.
Moving
Is it-
second.
Real quick, as far as managing these grants, as far as the purchases and auditing and all the stuff like that, he's gonna manage that in-house himself?
Yes,
And-
with assistance from the auditors. It's through the e-grant portal. This is my first year doing a grant, so I'm kind of learning as I go.
Okay. And you're good with helping him over there?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, all right. I'm good.
All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Number 30, discuss and take action to appoint Logan Moore and Keith Fitzpatrick as commissioners to Walker County Emergency Service District Number 2 Board of Directors.
That's my motion.
You get their information sheet?
I'll send them in.
Okay,
Yes.
sounds good.
I'll ask.
You got him,
Yeah.
Alan?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. 31, discuss and take action on Child Protective Services Board applications. I give you a packet of names. I discussed with Judge Swanson about them. They still have to go through the state background check. Once we approve them, they have to be approved by the state. My suggestion is Laura Nelson, Tiffany Wiggins, Billy Hirsch, Sharon, I got you wrote down. Sharon Dager, Brittany Anderson, Sherry Hirsch, Tracy Stout, Holly Knight, and Debbie Robertson on a motion for CPS board.
Was that 7 of them? 6, 7, 8, 9.
9. We have to have 7 to 15, and if we come up with more names later, we can add them as we go.
Okay.
That'll get us started and up and going.
I'll give you a second.
Moving and seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Is this who we're voting in?
Yes,
I mean, I
sir.
hadn't even had a chance to look at none of this.
Yes, sir. That's who we're voting.
So then I'm.
We have the applications.
Yeah, I've got them, but this is the first I think.
I'll
Well, it's
You
still,
don't
carries.
take-
I'm voting against it though. I mean, like I said, I'm sitting here looking at this. I mean, I don't have a problem with them, but damn, I'm not just flying through it. So,
That's the carry. Motion approved.
He's got.
Okay.
Oh, to carry.
32, discuss and take action on authorizing precinct 3 commissioner to enter into a professional service agreement with Blau and Associates for preliminary design, environmental studies, and other engineering associated with Roy Webb Sterling Chapel Bridge.
This bridge took a pretty good hit during the spring floods and then Hurricane Beryl, or however you say that, to the point of washing out the roads and undermining it pretty badly. We put it all back together again, but that whole drainage way is changing with the development and stuff like that. So I called Blisle, who's our engineer of record, and had them come up and visiting. And Butch, you can chime in on this as far as where there's 2 different funding sources out there. Can you explain the 2 different options we have for funding this real quick, Butch?
There's hazard mitigation grant under the spring flood 4781 and under Hurricane Pearl 4798. And you can apply under both for that deal.
So we're gonna give that a shot. but-
One that you can
You
apply.
can apply under both.
So, but for them to even consider it, I have to do, like, we're all familiar with the hydrological study and have at least some sort of a concept of what the plan is. So, and that comes out of my budget. So if I get approval today, we'll go back and visit with whoever our FEMA rep or our TDM rep is and say, hey, I'm willing to invest this if there's a twinkle of light of hope that I can get it. Cause it's probably $1 million bridge by the time we get done. And
which one is this bill? Is this?
Sterling Chapel really west.
Second one?
If you go down Sterling Chapel, it's the first big metal one that you go across. Yeah, like I say, in fact, we closed that road for about
Okay,
5
I'm
weeks.
thinking of it. Okay, yeah,
So-
so talking about the big one down there.
Yeah, the big one.
Right there where Terry got
Yeah,
the place.
yeah, yeah.
That's-
Scarborough.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a bad one, and I think it's gonna take some work. So anyway, this is just give me authorization to get it signed and get them started on it. And it's gonna come out of my budget. So my motion is to approve agenda item number 32.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. 33, discuss and take action on authorizing precinct 3 commission to replace the bridge on Roy Webb Sterling Chapel using hazard mitigation grant program funding for DR 4781 and DR 4798.
This will come after we get the study back and we turn it in and they say, yeah, go ahead and apply. Then we'll at least having the authority to do it already done, will speed that process up. So my motion is to approve agenda item 33 as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. 34, discuss and take action on authorization to issue request for proposal for administrative and plan development service for the community wildfire defense grant administrated by the Texas Forest Service. This is to go out for bids and to do all the administrative work
And there's a
for
lot
what
of,
we've already approved to apply for.
I'll say, is it-
Yes, sir.
We haven't approved this. We talked with Brian Pace, they have a approved list that they say we don't have to go out for bid for, if we want to draw back.
yeah, they did say that at that that little show they had, whatever that was last week. And evidently he does a bunch of them for them. He's kind of like, I guess he had several in the state that he's done. So I would be fine just to at least visit with him. We can approve this, but we don't have to do it yet.
Talking about Langford and he's
Yeah.
on Zoom.
Langford's on Zoom.
We don't have to, no, say that again, we don't have to.
He's
go out for the-
He's on the Forest Service grant people. They have a list of approved vendors for engineering design services. You want to have Mr. Langford visit a little bit with us?
He's on Zoom. Kevin
That-
Coleman is the name.
Okay. Mr. Coleman, could you maybe talk a little bit about y'all's role in all of this? All right, we can't hear him.
He talking though.
I think you're muted, Mr. Coleman.
All right,
Well, if it's going through the state, how they circumvent.
Yeah.
this is what the National Forest guy, what the forest guy told us on the video that he's got and approved. That's what I'm saying. Let's go ahead and approve this. And then we
Yeah.
can follow through and just make sure that it's copacetic, that everything is,
Yeah.
what they told us in the video was correct.
Yeah, my motion is to approve 34.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. 35, discuss and take action on authorization to issue requests for proposals for administrative and plan development service for hazard mitigation grant program funding for DR 4781 and DR 4798 administered by the Texas Department of Emergency Management. That'd be my motion.
I'll second that.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. And 36, public hearing concerning plat number 2024-031, replat of lots 53 and 54, block 1, section 1, Deer Forest subdivisions. Time is 9:48. Public hearing is open. Anyone here to speak upon it? Yeah. What you got, Andy?
Two lots on it, so. Two of the original lots, replatted into 53A. But you guys see a lot of Wallet River.
Yeah, just adding two together.
New neck of the woods, same kind of story.
Alright. Time is 9:49. We'll close public hearing. Item number 37, discuss and take action on plat number 2024-031, replat of lots 53 and 54.
Move for approval.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. 38, discuss and take action on the certification of streets and roads to be in compliance with Walker County subdivision regulations for Deer Forest subdivision, order number 2025-20.
Yeah, she's on.
Hello?
You just gotta love
Hi,
technology.
hi, I'm here. I lost audio for a minute. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, so we're bringing this back before we have some minor changes to the plan. So you guys have certified streets road previously, or a year ago. Some minor changes to the plans. We're putting it back before you guys for, there were some contingencies originally when it was certified. We'll talk about those. And then, we have following on the agenda, have approval, vote to approve the roads for the plans. Move to. So the first item, is 38. Stephanie, can you go over sort of, I think everybody has a copy of this report?
Yes.
Yes, so this is our report as of last Wednesday. On going through the remaining list of issues. The subdivision has been inspected. Thank you. Director Commissioner Mike, we're on the inspection committee for the subdivision, generated a punch list. Punch list was addressed by a letter to us, and we went out last Wednesday. Stephanie went out last Wednesday and did this follow-up report from the court. That lists the things that are corrected. We received this morning. We received this response. I think Brandon has a copy of this as well. You guys can take a look at that. That addresses. Who's this from? It's from contractor. Kind of goes through and addresses some of the issues that Stephanie had raised. Stephanie, have you seen that response yet?
No, sir, I have not.
No.
Unless that's
This is
what-
Jacob's
okay.
response. It's just pictures of where he fixed it.
So it kind of goes through this letter that we sent out, kind of addressing some of these items that have been corrected. Since the letter went out. I think Commissioner Decker has had a chance to go back through the site since.
I was out there this morning. Everything that was on this list has been addressed. My motion is going to be approved as presented.
You know, I would say that, as we move through approval, we're going to move into maintenance. Look at the end of the letter from Stephanie, there's two items. Number 18, number 19 specifically. In the plans, they address steeper slopes than what our code requires as built. Under number 18, that's mentioned there, or 19, some of the water line valves as inside the ditch, the flow line of the ditch. I was aware of where those locations are at, what remedies have been offered. Because no variance has been applied for and granted for those two items, we would need to make sure that if we accept it as is, that document that the court's granting a waiver as part of this acceptance in lieu of the variances.
Okay, so my motion is going to.
You make a motion,
Item
Brandon?
number 18.
He trying,
19.
he trying to, not yet. The court in their acceptance is understand, we can understand that those are being sort of variance as part of this process. If not, the court would have to provide formal variances back to court.
So, 18 side ditches that was deeper, they were back in there, we added the blow out. Line those edges that's in all the pictures. And number 19, the water line valves, we had them go back and cut them off to ground level, so it wouldn't affect the mowing and the deal. So.
And all that's fixed, Brian?
So they're being.
Yeah, they've already lowered it. Yeah. they took it off.
That would be the court, if they accept the roads and the condition they're in, would be actively granting a waiver or variance to 19 in their action. Because normally we would have those separately brought
As a variance from items.
to this variance.
All right, where you at, Brad?
That's my motion.
Second.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your.
One more thing.
Oh,
You gotta say that before the motion.
I'm sorry, no, actually, I probably should have waited to say anything till after the second. So it's my fault. The other thing is, we need a document from them on the permit. It's in the request that we requested its development certification for them. So we need that and final permit signature from the applicant. So I'd like the court to have that final permit document signed. Contingent on final permit document signed.
still in my second.
And all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. 39, discuss and take action on acceptance of the roads and associated infrastructure within the public right of way shown on the plat of Deer Forest subdivision as filled in volume 7, pages 74A, 75B of the Walker County plat record for public maintenance.
We've already had the variances in the previous items, so that's done. I would just ask that we get the final permit document signed prior to the judge. Prior to the acceptance. Or if the court wants, I can take them after the acceptance. I just wanted to address it that I need those documents. So Mike, move to approve contingent on the signing of the final document.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Number 40, discuss and take action on the release of the maintenance bond number 0798828 dated October 23rd, 2023, related to Deer Forest subdivision.
Same continues. Move to approve contingent on final document signed.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Grant workshop. Anybody else want to do anything on DR 4781 or DR 4798?
So I actually asked to put that on there. Do we want to get guidance from the court as to what we want to ask? That's the main reason I wanted to put it on there. We can ask for, what do y'all want to ask?
So, you know, you've got multiple different, grants out there. You've got the one with the Forest Service that y'all have to come up with projects.
Will water lines work for that? Water lines? Like ESD 3 is building that new fire station on 30. If we run a water line down to it with fire hydrants, does that qualify?
If Kevin can, weigh in, we tried to.
I don't know how it could.
Fire protection with water?
Well, but you've got Walker County Rural has the, what do you call it,
The CC's out there.
Yeah, whatever that
Whatever
is.
they call it.
I don't, it almost have to go through them if I would have.
With mitigation, if you can, you know, consider it mitigation, they won't do like,
They won't do suppression.
they won't do suppression. So you can't buy fire trucks, you can't
Yeah.
build buildings for it, but if you can consider it as mitigation, then we can run it through. We need to put a list together, but then you've also got the hazard mitigation grants, which is also mitigation for flooding, storms, you know, just about anything. So you've got different ones, it's like on that Roy Webb Bridge. We've got, you want to apply under the two hazard mitigation grants, but we've also got it under that 406 through the state. So, you know, we can apply multiple ways and then hopefully whichever one comes through first, we'll accept that one and then deny the others.
So I've got Lyle working on a drainage for me, on a road that's not under there, it's Stewart Road. Had them working up what I was going to put under it. It's because it floods. How hard is it to add that project to that hazard mitigation plan?
Was the road actually in the,
That road floods every time it rains, Butch.
okay, but did you put it under the disaster, is it listed on the disaster?
Yeah,
Can you fix it with disaster funds or for FEMA to get reimbursed?
Yeah.
It worked on during the disaster?
Absolutely, every one of them.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, any of these projects that y'all wanna do, if we don't have them under the hazard mitigation plan, I need a copy of them so that we can add them to it. It's not hard to add them. The plan right now is under review by FEMA, so we're waiting on them to approve the actual plan. So, but I have to run those amendments through, and I'd like to do them all at one time and not send them,
Yeah.
every time we get.
Stephanie, are you still on?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
So how far are we from having the final product on Stewart Road?
We've got preliminary analysis with different storm events to discuss with you, different options. So we have options to discuss and to choose one to go forward.
Okay.
To put it on under the plan, to do an amendment to the plan, we don't need a detailed, we just have to have a description of what it is and.
Is that a court action?
No,
No,
it's not a court action. Until we get the plan finalized, and then the court has to adopt.
Okay.
to adopt the plan, so, the action items, if you go back and look at your plan, it's a section about this big for each action. If you'll do one like that for whichever projects y'all want to add to the plan, send it to me, then we'll get on.
The roads y'all turned in the other day, are they in that plan?
All those roads, every road I had was damaged during those storms, so
Yeah,
should be right.
Do what?
are any of your roads in that plan? The roads y'all turned in the other day, are they in the plan?
No, none of our road, I mean, not in the hazardous mitigation plan, no, that Sherry's talking about. No,
No, but if there's any roads that y'all are wanting to try to go out for hazard mitigation grants,
yeah,
We can add them.
that project has to be in the plan before we can
Yeah.
apply for a mitigation project. A grant.
but you get into the same deal like what Bill was just going through and Brandon too, you're gonna have to do a $30,000 damn hydroflow study before you can ever even consider it, so.
Then they turn you down.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've been through it,
Yeah, they've done
you
that.
know,
Well, I'd only ask him to start this.
Yeah.
On
your part, yeah.
without anything, 'cause I just want to figure out what I need to put in the road.
Yeah.
So it's I kind of got a leg up because we're already pretty far into it. The other grant, the wildfire,
Yeah, the Forest Service one.
the Forest Service,
US Forest Service.
yes. So, Bill and I think were the ones that looked at it. You can put on manpower. Part of that can be, using your roads as a fire break, you could put on, it's a 5-year grant, right?
Correct.
So you could hire somebody for 5, buy a machine to go clear all your right of way.
Yeah.
Is that something that we were looking at? Now, again, that can't be it has to be for mitigation.
Maintenance.
Maintenance, not for fighting. That includes mowers, mulchers, the mowing of the right of ways.
And they will approve a dozer now.
Yeah, she said they will approve a bulldozer.
But
They won't.
things that you can have it set suppression efforts, like with the plow and stuff.
You know, that creates issues with us, because we can't work on private land anyway, unless we work on Forest Service.
Go ahead.
They were talking about right of way and county right of ways that you could clear those county right of ways, if you got brush on them or if you need to mow them or whatever. Is what they were talking about, and we talked when we talked to Brian Page, that we could do that. He was talking about going on private land, but that's another whole new.
Yeah, I mean, that takes us out of the equation unless we operate under somebody else. And I think we have done that once since I've been in office under the Forest Service, maybe.
Did that
At Elkins?
down there at Elkins, did that project down there at Elkins. We private land and did that.
Yeah, getting on private land was kind of scary.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, it opens up some liability and everything else that I'm not willing to
Yeah.
deal with. Let me just put it that way.
But having somebody on hand, like I say, for 5 years, if you could have put a person out there, that's all, their whole job was just to get on a tractor and trim limbs off, level, even with the right of way and keep your right of ways mowed.
Take down whatever trees need to be taken down.
But how do you get out of, that's normal maintenance?
That's kind of what I consider. That's.
But it's normal maintenance, but you submit your roads as being your in-county fire breaks. And that's.
I seen it blow across 45.
Oh, I understand that. I was sitting over there with you.
Yeah.
I understand that. Yeah, I know it.
All the feeder roads.
You saying your 15-foot right away ain't gonna stop it?
No. Unless it's a peaceful fire.
Yeah, but it's worth shooting at it if the money's out there. I think it's worth, especially if you get it for 5 years, and you could put in for what I think we talk about, whether it's one person per precinct or two, three people for the whole county, that their whole job was just to go around and cut right of ways and trim and stuff like that. If they fund it, you got a guy and you got a mower and you got a tree cutter. And if they don't, you're not out nothing.
You're talking about buying a piece of machinery, but
Yeah.
what happens at the end of 5 years?
It's yours,
It's yours.
it's the county.
Yeah, so there's not a whole lot of downsides, other than the guy reiterated several times that it's very competitive. And, he said several times that the money's tighter on this one. Yeah, it is pretty tight, and so I think it's worth making a run at.
Another project you might think of is for mitigation, possibly could be like those dry hydrants. I don't know if y'all have enough of them, or if there's more that y'all wanna put in.
So the fire departments have seemed to kind of gotten away from the dry hydrants and they use the turbo draft. Do we buy some turbo drafts with it? Cause they're expensive. I mean, I don't know.
To me, that's a mitigation project, not a suppression, but I don't know how they'll look at it. All we can do is put it on the list and let them tell us yes or no.
I'm game to work with Butch, and I guess if Brandon wants to go with me on it, we'll do the legwork on it, put together a package.
Well, I mean, at least this one, you're not out anything.
You're not out nothing. You turn it in, if they say, yeah, go forward, and if not,
Yeah.
We qualify for no match.
yeah, so it's 100%, which is kind of nice, so
Go for it, Bill.
we'll give it a shot.
Give it a shot.
Let's give it a shot. Now, another question, and like Sherry just mentioned, you can get a bulldozer. I think we throw at least one of those in the mix of full, because it had to be like an outfitted fire bulldozer is my guess. It couldn't be an open cab with chicken wire like we send out there. Like mine shows up out there
But
anyway.
what's wrong with that?
As long as you don't make it look like you're using it for suppression, it has to be for mitigation to mitigate the fires, not.
It should be just the opposite of what you're thinking.
Exactly opposite of what I just said.
Yeah.
All right, so never mind on
Yeah.
that. All right.
Well, that, and
So-
you get to the idea of it that, okay, it's gonna get used for something else.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, yeah.
Hey.
It's
And it's a
sitting
big-
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if a big
You don't have to
raging
lock it
fire's
down
going on,
and
you're
check
not-
Somebody's getting on it.
yeah, you're not gonna step around that dozer and say, hey, don't touch that, I'll get in trouble. They're like, hop on it and go. I'll fade the heat for it. So, all right.
I believe I'd leave that one
We'll
alone.
step away from that one then. We'll go back to right away clearing, make that 15-foot fire break all the
Unless
time.
you need those are secured right away, I mean.
True.
Well, and that's what I was. You could-
Clear our roads for the right of way.
Mulcher, chipper,
You can mulcher, chipper. I bet you can get like a big limb saw, one of those big old things that cut like
those
that.
giraffes.
Anyway, I'm game to make a run at it, work with Butch, Sherry and Brandon and see what we can put together.
See what you can do, Bill.
All right.
Did you set in, has the sidewalk thing done yet? Is it Monday?
January 6th is that meeting.
Be back on
We're
the
gonna-
sidewalk
We're
Yeah, that
gonna-
grant's back open
where my
again.
toe got broke.
Yep.
We're gonna resubmit it. I visited with them last year after we got turned down, and we finished kind of middle of the pack. And the guy gave me a couple more bullet points that we needed to fill in with some detail behind it. And so we're gonna try to buff that up a little bit. And when I make my first pass, I'll probably visit with TxDOT guy first, and when I get something together, I'll bring it here like we did last time. We'll talk about what we changed, or something like that. And I guess a little bit of good news, y'all, I don't know if you heard or not, December 20th, we're supposed to get 2 of the ambulances delivered, so what, a week? 4 days.
4 days.
Should be here Friday, pick up 4 ambulances two ambulances this coming up Friday. I ran into Mark out at Christmas party, actually, that's what I got, so.
There was a workshop and also say that the things that they bring up. Working on the
Oh, yeah.
project list. Because we need to deal with the, company if we or whoever. We've got to give them time to put it on together.
Could you get with your, and I forgot the forester, what was his name?
Brian Pace.
Brian Pace, yeah. Can you get with him and have him send us some sort of a piece of paper showing that that selection process for an administrator like Langford or their list is an approved method of selecting a manager? If you can't give us that, we'll have to fall back on the RFP that we did today.
Yeah.
All right,
Sure will.
that's all I got.
Good.
All right, no executive session. Questions from media?
I think they all in Vegas today.
Commissioners Court.